Hi friends, today we're going to be making this super cute Christmas set together. We have your mug, your snowman, and your snowflake. You should have received your cookie kit with everything in there that you should need to work with today. So let's go over what should be in your kit. First, you should have all of your icings, all your cookies, as well as 2 cups of sprinkles, an edible marker, and some toothpicks. Some other things that you might need are scissors and some paper towels. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys practice on you guys should have a practice sheet in your kit. Go ahead and pull that out, and I'm gonna show you guys how to work your icing bags. Also, make sure you guys go through your kit and have everything that you need. Some extra things that you might need is something to put under your cookies, like some wax paper or something like that, as well as a pair of scissors and some napkins. Okay. So let's get started. So I didn't print myself out a practice sheet. So I've done it a million times. So I'll show you guys what to do. So go ahead and pull that out. And your icings should be labeled outline or flood. Okay. And if they are not labeled, that just means that they are a, what's it called? They are for detail. They're detail icing. Okay. So we're going to use our outline. So go ahead and pick one. You can use your white or your red. Either one is fine. And for your lines, let's start with lines. Or actually, let's talk about cutting open your bag. So again, make sure you find the seams of your bag. We're going to press those together. I've already cut mine, but I'll show you guys. You're going to press those seams together and then just go ahead and snip just a little bit off the top. Remember that we can always make the hole bigger, but we can't make it smaller. So I'm then going to put my bag between my pointer finger and my thumb, and I'm going to give it a squeeze. Okay, let's see. Looks good. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to practice some lines. So for lines, I'm going to put my tip down. I'm going to give pressure. As I give pressure, I'm going to lift up. So as you guys can see, I'm not dragging. And then when I want to end my line, I'm going to release pressure and come down. Again, give pressure, lift up, release pressure, come down. One more time. Oops. All right. So you guys can go ahead and pause and practice some of those lines and see how that goes. Again, if you're having to squeeze really hard to get that icing out, you probably need to open your bag up, cut it open just a tiny bit more. Your line should be about that thick. Okay. Next one, let's work on dots because we're definitely going to be doing some dots here in our class. And so to do dots or little mounds, all you're going to do is you're going to put your tip down to the paper, give pressure, and just let that ball build up until it's the size that you want. So if I want a really big ball, then I'm going to keep giving pressure. If I want a little one, I'm going to give pressure, stop. Okay. Give pressure, let it build up, and stop. Go ahead and try those. The next thing I want you guys to practice, again, you guys can be pausing as I'm talking so that you guys have time to practice as much as you want. The next one we're going to do are waves. So for waves, just like lines, I'm going to put my tip down. I'm going to lift. And again, as you guys can see, my tip is off of the paper. I'm not even on the paper. But I'm lifting, and all I'm doing is moving my wrists, and I'm looking ahead at where I want to go. Okay, again, I'll do that one more time. So these are waves or turns. This is the motion that you would use when we're doing turns on our cookies. All right. And one last thing that I want to make sure that you guys practice are hearts, because we do have a few hearts or heart type details to do on our cookies today. So for a heart, let's see. So for a heart, all I'm going to do is give pressure, kind of like I did my balls, but then I'm going to drag towards the middle. I'm going to lay off the pressure and drag towards the middle, release pressure completely. Okay. Give pressure, let that build up, and swipe diagonal. And I have a little heart. Okay, again, give pressure, swipe, pressure, swipe, pressure, swipe. Sorry, I'm trying to do it at an angle so you guys can see. Pressure, swipe, pressure, swipe, pressure, swipe, pressure, swipe. All right, go ahead and try those. And go ahead and practice or go over anything else is on your paper. These were the main things that I wanted you guys to learn and what we'll be going over today. So definitely make sure you guys practice these 4 things. The first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys get out your edible marker. It'll look like this and you should have it in your kit. We're gonna use this to mark our cookies so that we can tell where we want to outline, what colors. Don't worry about it being black. We're not gonna see it. Once our cookies are all done and they're all flooded, you won't see it underneath. And all this is food coloring inside a pen. So first I'm gonna have you take your mug, your Christmas mug, and we're just gonna mark off where the cup ends and where our whipped cream topping is going to be. So I'm gonna start about here where my leaf is, and I'm gonna draw a line across there. Okay, something like that. Could even maybe go a little bit higher. Let's see, let's do that. Okay. I'm also going to outline where my handle is. So I'll have you guys go ahead and do that. Okay, we're gonna do something like that. All right, so I'm gonna put this one aside. The snowflake, we don't need to do anything to it, so I'm gonna move that one aside as well. Also, I'm gonna pull up my snowman. For my snowman, we're gonna mark off his hat. So let's go ahead and do that. So my line is a little bit rounded. Okay, and you can kind of tell where his hat line starts. It sticks out just a little bit right there. Okay, and that's all we're gonna do for that guy. Go ahead and put your marker away. We are done with it for now. And go ahead and pull up that snowflake. So for the snowflake, what we're gonna do is go ahead and cut open your icing. So for this one, we're using our outline icing. Outline icing is thicker. It's soft, but it's thick. So it's easy to maneuver and to squeeze out, but it's also gonna keep its shape. It's not runny. And so to open your bags, all you're gonna do is go ahead and find the seams. So the bag has a seam here and a seam on the back. We're going to pinch those together. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just gonna open up a small opening. You guys may have already opened them to practice if you used white for your color. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a little test squeeze to see how thick it is. Perfect, that's about how thick I want it as far as the thickness of the line. And now we're gonna start outlining. So outlining means that I'm gonna go around the whole cookie with my white outline. I'm gonna create a barrier, kind of like when we used to color when we were kids. We color the outline and then we go in and we fill it in. And we're gonna fill it in with our flood icing. And we'll talk more about that consistency once we outline our snowflake here. Okay, so I like to hold my bag like this between my pointer finger and my thumb, and please forgive my icing stained hand, it just comes with the job. So I'm gonna place it between my thumb and my finger, and I'm going to wrap around. Some people like to hold their wrists to have more stability. It's completely up to you, whatever you feel comfortable. You can go clockwise, counterclockwise, again, whatever is comfortable for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna put my tip down and I'm going to give it a squeeze, give pressure. Okay, and you can see when I do my corners, I'm lifting up. So I'm not dragging. I'm not dragging my tip, I'm lifting up. And I'm just gonna keep going all the way around. And as you guys can see, when I get to a point like here, I bring my tip down and then I come back up. Okay, so my biggest tip would be don't drag your tip, because then we're gonna get some funny looking jaggedy lines. But let's say you do. Maybe I drag it, or uh-oh, I go off the edge. That's what we're gonna use our toothpicks for. So your toothpicks are gonna be one of your biggest tools today. We're gonna use them to even out our icing. We're gonna use them to fix mistakes, just like I did right now. So if you do make a mistake with your outline and you want to correct it, all you're gonna do is take that and wipe it off, okay? I do suggest having napkins under your cookies, or I have wax paper, parchment paper would work too, because then we're gonna be wiping them off, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe that off, and I'm gonna keep going. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this away. One other tip is that royal icing dries pretty quickly, or not, I wouldn't say quickly, but it crusts over very quickly. So you're gonna wanna keep that tip clean by wiping off with a paper towel, or you can just do like I am here on your wax paper. And that will help it from just getting all dried up right there. So again, just make sure that the tip of your bag is clean and doesn't have any dried icing on it before you start using it the next time, okay? Because then it'll get plugged up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put my outline aside, and I'm going to bring out my flood. So flood is just the same as outline, except that it has more water, and so it's going to be more runny, but this also helps it to come out faster and smoother, and that's what we're gonna use to fill up our cookie. So for flood, same thing, I'm gonna open it up. I can open it up a little bit bigger than I did my, outline. Okay, same thing, I'm going to put it right next to my outline, and I'm going to squeeze and give pressure. If you guys can't tell, it does come out a lot faster. And that's what we want. So, and you guys can see that the outline is acting as that barrier. So I want to get as close to it as I can without going over. And again, just a reminder, make sure you guys are kneading your bags before you cut and open them. Separation is normal. I know you got it, all you have to do is knead those bags to remix it. And then I'm going to just fill in. So as you can see, my flood is already running together, so I really won't have to smooth it out that much. But if yours isn't, what you can do is you can take your toothpick. All you're gonna do is fill in any gaps. So you're gonna pull and fill in. Then you can take your toothpick, stab your cookie with your toothpick, and give it a good, oops, oh, it doesn't want to do it. Give it a good shake. Okay, and if you guys can see, that little dot is just gonna sink right back into the icing, and we're gonna have a nice smooth top. All right, so go ahead and do your second, go ahead and flood your second snowflake, and then put those aside. Next, pull up your snowman head, and we're gonna do the same thing. So we are going to flood the bottom part white, and then we're gonna set that aside. Later we'll bring it back and we'll go ahead and flood the hat on him. So same thing, guys. Make sure my tip is clean, and I'm going to outline my snowman. Here we go. Okay, now that we have our snowman flooded, and again, you're gonna go ahead and flood, outline and flood both your snowman, the bottom part white. Once you're done with that, let's go ahead and put them aside with our snowflakes. Next, we're gonna pull up our mug. For this one, we're doing, again, kind of the same thing. And I'm also gonna show you guys a technique called wet on wet for your second mug, if you would like. If you, again, you don't want to try the technique, you can go ahead and just flood all red. So for my mug, again, I'm outlining the actual cup. And then I'm going to take my red flood. I'm going to open that up and I'm going to fill in. It's very important that you guys keep track of your floods and your outlines. I know my students hate it when they get it mixed up and start trying to outline with their flood and it just goes everywhere. So I've marked them for you, so hopefully that helps. Okay. And we're just gonna fill it in. And once you're done flooding in that one, you guys can go ahead and put it aside and let's pull up another. And here I have my second mug that I flooded just like my first one. And now I'm going to do a technique called wet on wet. So wet on wet is where we take another flood, another color of flood icing, and we use it to make a design on top of the flood, our flooded cookie. So I am going to take my white flood, the one that's runny, and I'm going to draw 2 lines or 3 lines. Let's try 3. I'm just going to go across. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Then I'm going to take my one of my toothpicks, my clean toothpick, and I'm going to start making a design. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to go up. Okay, in between each one, I'm wiping off my toothpick. I'm going to move over a little bit, and I'm going to go down. Move over a little bit and go up. And I'm just going to keep on doing that throughout my cookie. Okay. Then I'll move on to the other side. Down. And one more up. All right. So now I have a very cute kind of winter design. So now that my mugs are flooded, I'm going to move them aside and let those dry and crust over a little bit. Go ahead and bring back your snowman, both your snowmen, and we're gonna go ahead and outline that hat. And for the hat, we are going to outline it in red. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline the hat that is not touching the white. And I am going to go ahead and flood that. So I'll have you guys do the same. Go ahead and flood both of your snowman hats red. Okay, and I'm just kind of using my toothpick to pop any air bubbles. So if you see little like dark spots or black spots, there's nothing in your icing. It's actually air bubbles. So go ahead and pop those. Okay, so once you have that done, go ahead and let's put those snowman aside. Next, let's have you guys pull out your snowflakes and we're gonna finish these up. So we're gonna finish the detail on those. What you're gonna need to finish up your snowflakes is your red outline. And then I also give you guys a little cup with a few sprinkles in there. You're gonna need your 2 silver balls. All right, so I'll put those aside for now. To start on our snowflake, we are going to be doing the kind of the same technique that we used when we were practicing our hearts in the beginning. So all I'm going to do is, again, give pressure and I'm going to drag down. So we're basically going to be doing a bunch of half hearts. And I'm going to start at the top. So again, I'm going to let it build up and then I'm going to drag in. I'm going to do the same on this side. Oh, I have a little dust right here. One sec. Okay. All right, and I'm going to keep on going all around. So then I'm going to come on this side, same thing. I'm going to drag in. Same thing over here and drag in. And then I'm going to start from the middle and I'm going to draw a line all the way to my snowflake. Okay. And I'm going to do that for all of the points on my snowflake. Again, just start from the middle and go out. Middle, and go out. Okay. So we're going to go around and I'm going to do these 3 points, these 3 pressure and drags at each of my points on my snowflake. Again, I'm going to give pressure, drag, pressure, drag. When I'm giving pressure, I'm letting it build up to the size I want and then I'm dragging. When I'm dragging, I'm still giving it a little bit of pressure, but I'm going to have the pressure fade as I'm getting closer to my middle point. Okay. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to do smaller ones more towards the bottom of each line. And I'm just going to do 1 on each side. Again, I'm just giving pressure and dragging in a diagonal direction. Okay. Then I'm going to take one of my silver balls and we're going to put that right in the middle. So again, I'm just going to give a little bit of pressure and let a ball build up in the middle. I'm going to take my silver ball and I'm going to put that right there in the middle. Okay. So go ahead and do that on both of your snowflakes, and then that is it for your snowflake. Love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those aside, and we'll go ahead and finish up the details on our cups. All right, guys, let's go ahead and finish up our mugs. So I have a finished one right here. And so we're gonna go ahead and make this other mug nice and beautiful and get him all detailed up and ready to go. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our green and I'm going to open it up just like I did my other ones, not too big. Again, I want maybe about that. And we're gonna put a heart just right here in the corner. It looks super cute. And like we did in the practice, all we're gonna do is give pressure, let that side of the heart build up and drag in a diagonal direction. And then same thing, build up and drag. Okay, so build and drag, build and drag. So for this little guy, I'm gonna put him right here. So again, I'm gonna build and drag, build, drag. So cute. Again, up to you, optional. You guys don't have to do it if you don't like that look, but super cute, I think. Okay, I have my cup here. We're gonna get this all dressed up and done. So we have our red part of our cup flooded. It should be crusted over by now. Looks good. You can tell that it's starting to crust over because it's kind of shiny and ready to go. So the first part of the detail we're gonna do is this little stick right here. You could make it a cinnamon stick or whatever you want if you're using this cutter for another design, but today we're going to use it like as a peppermint stick. And to do that, I'm going to use my white outline and my red outline. And all I'm going to do is basically make stripes, just like a candy cane. I don't have to do it all the way, and that's because this whole part is going to be covered with white to look like whipped cream. So I'm just gonna start here and I'm just giving pressure, and as I'm giving pressure, I'm moving my tip downward or across the stick. Okay, I'm gonna leave some room for white. If you want to, you can go switch off doing red, 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 white. For me, it's just easier to leave room for the white and then go back. Okay, then I'm going to take my white outline. Again, make sure that my tip is clean. I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm giving pressure and moving across to fill in those gaps. Okay, looks good. The next thing that we're going to do is on this side. I know it looks like kind of funky, like what is that? So it's supposed to be either like some little leaves or what we're gonna do is we're gonna use it to make some holly and some mistletoe. Yes, that's what it would be. So again, I'm gonna take my red outline and I'm just gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna do maybe 3 dots right here. 1, 2, 3. I'll do 3 dots over here. 2, 3. Okay, there's my holly. And again, what you're gonna do to do that, you're just gonna put your tip down and I'm gonna give pressure and let it build up until my little holly balls are the size that I want. So I did 6 of them. Next, you're gonna take your green. And for your green, I'm actually gonna teach you guys how to cut to make a leaf tip. So what you're gonna do is, again, we're going to take our seams, we're going to press them together, and I'm going to cut diagonal. Oh, no, that's not diagonal, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut almost like a triangle in it. so that I'm going to make what looks like a bird mouth or an alligator mouth. And I'm going to cut from the outside into the line. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Oops, make sure that's nice and flat. And I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so if you guys can see, I've made, it looks like a little, kind of like a bird's mouth or alligator mouth. My little plastic I cut got stuck. Okay, we'll just leave that there. So I want you guys to practice before putting it on your cookie. So I am going to hold it with mouth open, okay? So with the points, one on top, one on the bottom. And when I squeeze, get my scissors out of the way. When I squeeze, I'm going to give pressure, then I'm going to pull up and in, up and in, up and in, and then away to make my leaf. All right, so I'll show you guys that again. Okay, so again, the tip of my bag looks like this. And again, I'm just gonna give pressure, up and in, and then pull away. All right, here we go. Let's do it on here. There's one, and I'm gonna do the other. And you can make as many leaves as you like. I think I'm gonna add one right here. Okay. And there's my holly. So cute. Then finally, to finish off our, oops, getting a little messy over here. Okay, finally to finish off our mugs, I am going to take my white outline again, and you guys should have plenty left. We're gonna use this as detail to make our whip on the top. You're also gonna need your sprinkles. So we'll pull those out. To do my whip, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm sorry. For one moment, I'm gonna have you guys put your cup aside because we need to do one small detail to our snowman before we cut that open a little bit more. So sorry about that. We're gonna pull out our snowman real fast. Again, with your white flood, I'm just gonna have you guys do a little band on the hat. So from one side to the other, I am just gonna go across, okay? If you wanna use another color, you can. You can use your black. Pink would look really cute too. So you can use one of your other detail colors too if you don't wanna do white and try something different. Or do one snowman with the white stripe and another one with a different color. So let's go ahead and put those back after we've added that stripe on the hat. Pull back your mugs and let's finish these guys. Okay, go ahead and open up your outline, okay? And we're gonna open it up just a little bit more. So, I don't know, probably like about there. So if you guys can see, it's pretty thick. All right, and that's gonna be my whip. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my tip down, I'm gonna give pressure, and I'm going to go up and down, or keep going up side to side until I get like a whip cream look. So here we go. Again, I have my pressure down, and I'm just gonna go back and forth, making it nice and full. There's my whipped cream. I'm gonna take my sprinkles, and I'm just gonna add a few on top for decor. I'll take one and add this one here. All right, and there's our mugs, super cute. So go ahead and finish your mugs up. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to finish our snowman. So the first thing I'm going to do for my snowman, I'm going to put his scarf on. So you guys can see there's kind of like these, on the circle of the snowman, there's kind of these little edges that are sticking out. So you can kind of tell where his scarf is supposed to go. So I'm going to start from one edge to the other, and then I'm going to do the bottom edge, connect the bottom edges. And I'm going to, it's going to have a little bit of a curve again, and I'm just going to go down to where the other one is. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same with the other one. I can kind of see it. It's right here. And the other one is right there. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. And then I'm going to close it up. So now I have part of my scarf outlined. And for this part, we're kind of going to do the same that we did. Sorry, I'm not liking those. I'm going to fill them in just a little bit real fast. There we go. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same technique that I did with the peppermint stick. So I'm going to do 4 lines of red, and then I'm going to switch and do 4 lines of green to kind of give it some texture and make it just kind of look more realistic, like a scarf. So same thing. And you can do as many lines as you want. 5, 6, let's see, 2, 3, 4, maybe I'll do 5. Okay. And then I'm going to switch and I'm going to do some green. And I'm going to keep doing this and repeating this pattern until I get all the way to the end. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to give him kind of like the part of your scarf that when you tie it in a knot, it comes out, it's sticking out. I'm going to do that here as well. But this time, I'm going to be going, my lines are going to be horizontal instead. So again, I'm going to start with red. I'm just going to do a few here. Then I'll do some green. All right. And then if you want, you can even do a few lines and give it some fringe. Okay. I'm gonna fix those up a little bit. All right. Okay. So far, here is my snowman. Now we're going to do his eyes and his smile. So let's go ahead and do his smile first. And so you're going to take your black and go ahead and cut the tip just like we did all the other outlines. And but this one, if you guys want to make it just a tad bit smaller, so maybe about that much, let's test it. Perfect. And so if you guys remember from the very first picture in the beginning where your snowman has the little like coal smile, that's what we're going to do. But we also have to imagine that it's going to go under a little bit, part of it is going to stick under the scarf. So here we go. So I'm just going to start, oh no, let's see right here. So I'm just going to go 1. Again, I'm kind of going at an angle. So I'm going to pretend that it keeps going around his mouth, and it's gonna come up this way. Okay. I take my toothpick to round out those little mounds. Okay. I'm gonna put him aside for a moment so I can show you guys how to do his eyes. So for his eyes, what we're gonna do is, it's gonna look like an upside down U with a little flare at the end, something like this. So I'm gonna do my upside down U, okay, and then I'm just gonna give it a little flare here, okay, upside down U, and then I'm gonna come up. So do that a couple more times. Upside down U, up, little eyelash, upside down U, up. Okay, so here we go. Let's give this little guy some eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna start about right here. Upside down U with the little eyelash. And I'm gonna go and do the same thing on the other side. Upside down U, little eyelash. Okay. Next, after we have those eyelashes on, eyes and eyelashes on, we're gonna give him some cheeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my pink, same thing. I'm gonna open it up just a little bit just because we're working on such a small space on his eyes or on his face. So go ahead and open that up and we're gonna do little hearts. I know we've been doing so many like heart or heart type designs today. So same thing, I'm just gonna give pressure, let it build up, and then swipe diagonally. And those are gonna be his cheeks. So I'm just gonna put those right here. So build up to the size I want, and then drag. I'm just gonna do little cheeks. I like little ones, like that. And then I'm gonna do the other side. So again, build up, and drag. And trying to see if I can show you guys a little hard to maneuver, and build up and drag. Okay, and of course, so obvious what's missing, his little nose. So I'm gonna take the orange and finish off my little guy. Okay, so go ahead and open it up again, just a little small opening. Okay. And for the nose, all we're gonna do is we're gonna do lines up and down as we're moving across. And as we're moving across, we're gonna make those lines smaller and smaller until we have like a little nose. So I'll show you on my paper. So again, I'm gonna give pressure and I'm just gonna go up, down until I get a little nose going on here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. Oh, and then also what we can do is we can add a little bit more holly berries and leaves to the top. So I'll take my red outline and I'm just gonna, same thing, do a little three little holly berries. I'm going to take that green and give him some leaves again. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna put them this way. Oops. So again, just give a little leaf. And there we go. All right. And there you have it. So you guys should have your mug, your snowman, let's see, and your snowflake. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed.